back. Welcome back to Dylan's Soul Hobbies, and in today's video, I am going to be starting my new series. My series is called X-Wing Miniatures How to Fly. In this series, we are going to pick a ship. We are going to basically tell you how to fly it. Tread back there. I'm basically going to tell you how I fly it. I'm going to share my thoughts on the ship. We'll go through the pilots and its stats and stuff like that. I'll tell you my favorite pilots, my favorite upgrades for those pilots, and then we'll talk about the actual ship. When it comes to X-Wing miniatures, the game is always going to change. While everyone has their own strategy, including me, I find by putting these ships in certain different categories of ways to use them makes it a lot easier, so we are going to go through that. Please don't worry. Do not take anything you take in this video, anything I say in this video. Don't take as complete facts that you have to do it this way. They're just strategies that I use, strategies that might help you use your ships better. And with that said, everyone has their own strategies. Everyone has their own way of playing, own missions, and depending on the scenarios that you're playing with, every single ship, especially in this game throughout the battle, is going to change from position to position. Nothing is said in stone. Nothing is canon from this video. However, I do think that these will at least help you out in deciding what to do with your X-Wing miniatures. Now, this is X-Wing miniatures. The ship that we have chosen is what the game is after. We are going to do in this video X-Wing, the T-65 X-Wing miniatures. Now, I'm not going to be talking in this video about the T-70 or any of its variants. I am simply talking about the T-65 X-Wing. First, let's go through the point list. Here it is. It's a point list. I personally like to use the quick builds, and I take the quick builds and I modify them to whatever game I'm playing with. But I typically use the quick builds. Here are the quick builds for the pilots. There is a very long list of X-Wing pilots to choose from. Now, my favorite pilots, my personal favorite pilots, are without a doubt Coli Speedo, whose special ability is after you perform a barrel roll or a boost action, which, yes, T-65s don't have boost actions, but one of the absolute best upgrades to put on T-65 is an engine boost action that gives this ship's an ability to boost. It's called engine upgrade is what the ship, upgrade card is actually called. This is what it looks like. This is probably the best card to put on a T-65, no doubt about it. But anyway, Coli Speedo, his ability in Enigmatic Gunslinger, I'm probably saying that wrong, there. After you perform a boost or barrel roll action, you may flip your equipped S-Foils upgrade card. This is your S-Foils card. Now, this is pretty cool. So, according to this, as soon as you boost or barrel roll, before you activate, you may flip this card. So, that will uh, that means if they are closed, you can instantly open them and start attacking. You don't have to do the red boost. Now, the S foils do actually give the T65 a boost action that you can use on the ship. I still say the best card to give the ship is the engine upgrade, but that's just me. But that is Cauley Speedo, another great pilot that I use constantly would be Wedge Antilles. I absolutely love Wedge Antilles. Let's see what his special abilities are. Wedge Antilles. Red 2 was the name of his skill. While you perform an attack, the defender rolls one fewer defense dice. That basically makes them a powerhouse in the game if you use it correctly. Basically, what you want to do is you don't want to lose Wedge Antilles. If anything, you want to equip him with torpedoes and just slam your enemy. Because with one fewer defense dice, especially if you're against a ship with that only rolls like one or two defense dice, like some of the Imperial ships that I know of, like I'm thinking about the TIE Punishers. They don't have very many defense dice. The TIE Bombers don't have very many defense dice. This is a very powerful ability that Wedge Antilles has. Now, he is a level 6, and that could be a little high depending on the way you use your strategy, but if you base your strategy around Wedge Antilles, which I often do, I think he is a great card, and I usually use him with Cauley Speedo. And another one that I really, really like here is I really, really like Gavin Dries. I'm Gavin Dries. Dries. I cannot pronounce these Star Wars names very much. There. Hopefully you can see that. It's Gavin. After you spend a focus token, you may choose one friendly ship at range 1 through 3. That ship gains one focus token. I like to use this along with Wedge. Use this to attack. Give Wedge another focus token. That way when he attacks, he can also defend with a focused defense. These two cards, really, these three cards are a powerful combo. And it's why these three ships, these three pilots, are my favorite pilots when it comes to the X-Wing T65. But of course we have other pilots. We got Red Squadron Veteran, Jack Porkins, there's Luke Scott. Levin Tenzai has a really cool ability. After you perform a boost or barrel roll action, you may perform a red evade action. That could come in handy, but in my experience using that ability, a stress token is a stress token, and I try to avoid those at all costs. My strategy with the T65, while not the only strategy, is attack head-on, fast and quick. Try not to do any stress maneuvers or anything like that, because stress maneuvers just power these ships down. And then you have Eric Two Tubes, Kevin Angel Zealots, Blue Squadron S. You have Big Starklight, which I just like his name, Big Starklight. And then there's Thank Corral. I really like his ability as well. While you perform an attack, you may spend one focus token, hit or critical hit result, to lock at the defender's face down damage card. Choose one and expose it. So I really like that ability. Luke Skywalker has the Force, and his ability to basically, when attacked, gain another Force token is useful. But I mean, you can only use his Force ability so many times. He costs so many points. He's such a high threat level that, to me, Luke Skywalker isn't worth it in the game. To me, Wedge Antilles is definitely worth it. And the other pilots are pretty darn worth the threat levels, and the cost of the points isn't that bad for a T-65 as well. Now, what are the T-65's stats? The T-65 stats is 3 attack dice. That could come in really handy. It's a powerful ship. 3 attack dice is pretty good for this game. 2 evades, which, okay, it's not as fast as a TIE fighter. Okay, but 2 evades is still a pretty powerful ship. Now we can see why the rebels were able to win the war with these ships, because their evades are awesome. And of course, their hull and shields are 4 hull, 2 shields, for a total of 6 lives. That is pretty darn handy. Now, the best upgrades, I already told you about engine upgrade. I really like to use R5 Astromechs if I can. Spend 1 energy to repair 1 face-up damage card, or action repair 1 face-up ship damage card. That's a really, really handy ability. Now, I might equip, if I'm using them as a muscle ship, which we'll get into in a minute. If I use them as a muscle ship, I'll equip torpedoes if I have the points. But a lot of the times, I don't even use that with them. Now, I really like Trick Shot. I really like Exclusive. So let's actually just go ahead and look at the ships, shall we? These are my 4 T-65 X-Wings. Now, throughout the game, just about all ships fits each of these 3 categories, and throughout the game, they're all going to switch from one category to another, but at basic setup, this is how I like to think of these ships. I like to think of them in 3 different categories. 1, the decoy. The ship that you are basically flying out there just to be a distraction. Hopefully the enemy will follow that ship, only for your main ship, your muscle ship, to come in behind it and blast it away. Decoys, you don't want to lose them. However, they shouldn't be too many points. So if you did lose them, it's gonna be okay. Basically, these ships are too valuable to use as a decoy. And if you're using the decoy strategy, you're going to want to keep that in mind. Which ships you are willing to possibly sacrifice versus which ships are going to be your main muscle. A category are ships with just the straight up power. They're powerhouses. While most of the time they won't be that speedy, they will have very heavy hits, throwing very many dice. And the T-65, when it has to be, works great as a muscle ship. In fact, I'd say to a certain extent it's even made to be the muscle ship. But with that said, I really think the best part about this ship is it's multifunctional, between being both a muscle ship and, of course, a support ship. Now, the best example of a muscle ship for the Rebels would actually be the Y-Wing. I'd say the T-65 should be the support ship. And what should it be supporting? It should be supporting the Y-Wing. The Y-Wing should be your muscle ship. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're flying 3, 4, I don't know, 6 X-Wings, depending on how big the game is. I mean, if you're playing Epic. But while they are a great muscle ship, they are better as a support ship to the Y-Wing. Just simply because they can fly in as a decoy, hopefully take the hits. And some of them can stay back with the Y-Wing. And while the Y-Wing goes right at, get most of the hits, but maybe it doesn't kill it, well then the T-65 can come up and destroy it for you and basically protect your Y-Wing from too many shots with a T-65. Now don't get me wrong, Y-Wings can take hits, but your Y-Wings are going to hold bombs. They're going to have a turret. You're not going to want to lose a Y-Wing. A T-65 is a great support ship for the Y-Wing, but that again is just me. That's how I tend to set up my ships. That's how I tend to use my ships. That is the X-Wing, how to fly the T-65. In my next video, we will be talking about the Y-Wing. I'm out. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Assuming I still have comments.